Hey everyone, I'm Matt Dolan with Dolan Divorce Lawyers in Connecticut, and today I'm going to talk about medical insurance language in a divorce agreement. So allow me to share my screen. And first, you're going to have to deal with the insurance of the parties, so the husband and the wife, or the two spouses who are getting divorced. In almost all situations, you'll say that the parties shall each be responsible for their own health care coverage. So after a divorce is over, your health insurance company, an employer health insurance policy is not going to allow the ex-spouse to remain on that policy. There are certain situations, certain policies that if you do a legal separation rather than a divorce, you can remain on that policy. But even that, it's very few insurance policies that will allow the non-employee ex-spouse to remain on the health insurance policy. So in almost all circumstances, you're going to just have each party be responsible for their own health care coverage. You may want to add in a provision that says, the husband or the wife shall reimburse, shall pay, $500 or up to $500 per month towards the health insurance premiums of the other. For a certain period of time. You could put in language like that, but generally speaking, the parties are each going to be responsible for their own health care coverage. Then you have to deal with the insurance of the children. So the most common language that we use and that you'll see in divorce agreements are for one party to maintain health insurance for the benefit of each child if available through their employment at a reasonable cost, which is at or below 7.5% of net income. That's usually the threshold we use. Through and until that child reaches the age of 26, for so long as the child is a full-time student or does not have coverage available to him or her through his or her own employment. So that's kind of the standard language we use. Sometimes parties won't want to be obligated to cover the children until 26. They may say 24 or 21 or even 18. So you can tailor that and change the restrictions here, but 26 is the maximum that, the law allows children to stay on a health insurance policy of a parent. And even then, there's only certain, you'd have to look into the health insurance laws, but there's only certain situations where a 25-year-old can be on the insurance of their parents, for example. So, but then we'll usually have backup language that says if the insurance is no longer available at a reasonable cost through the husband's employment in this situation. So if it's no longer available through the person who's primarily supposed to have the insurance, then the other party then has to obtain the insurance if they have it available through their employment at a reasonable cost. And it's usually pursuant to these same terms. And then if insurance is not available through employment at a reasonable cost to either party, then the parties will coordinate to purchase private insurance, like on the healthcare exchange, or enroll the children in Husky. And then the parties will equally be responsible for the cost of the insurance premiums. And this doesn't have to be equal. You may decide to agree to some other split. And then some optional language that you can put in if you want is that the party who does not care. So let's say we'll read through the language first. So the party who does not carry the life insurance for the children shall reimburse the other party on a monthly basis for 50% or whatever percent you want of the portion of that party's insurance premiums which are attributable to the children. So let's say in this situation, the husband is carrying the children on his insurance, and the insurance premiums that he pays for himself and the children are $500 a month. But you'd get documentation of the policy to see the difference between what the husband would pay on his own if he was on the insurance policy by himself. So you see the difference between that amount and what the insurance policies are for the husband and the children. And so the difference between the individual insurance premiums with no children and the insurance premiums with the children, the difference between those two amounts is the portion of the insurance that is attributable to the children. So you may, in that scenario, have the wife reimburse the husband for 50% of the portion of those premiums that are attributable to the children. You don't have to have that language, but you might want to put that in. And again, this doesn't have to be 50%. You can work out whatever percentages you want. And then if the children are on Husky, the standard language that you put in, or that the minor child or children are currently covered by Husky health insurance and shall continue to be enrolled in Husky health insurance until either parent can obtain medical insurance coverage that is available at a reasonable cost, and that is 5% of net income for low-income parents and 7.5% of net income for non-low-income parents. And those are generally the Husky rules, where you can't have children on Husky if insurance is available at a reasonable cost to the parents. So those are the basics of the medical insurance language that you will have in a divorce agreement.